On today's episode, we're going to be talking about 7 ways to start saving more money on your Facebook ads. I'm going to move kind of quick here. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. The first way is in regards to Facebook's new feature. They have this new thing when you go to set up a conversions campaign that is called Advantage Plus Conversions Campaign. This is basically, as it says, a streamlined, proven setup, recommended process, and pretty much everything that ever says recommended in the Facebook ad backend is something you're not going to want to do. This just gives Facebook more control, and in this case, they are doing a few features that really should not be set to automatic and that you really should have manual control over. So you don't want to give Facebook too much control because then it makes it so you can't hyper optimize your ads over time. You're always going to want to choose manual conversions campaign. The second tip is in regards to setting up your audience. So when you go to the audience tab, it will ask you where you want your placements to be. Now, placements is just where you want the ad to run. So if you want the ad to run on people's Instagram feeds or their Facebook stories or their Reels feed, wherever it is, this is what you'd put. Now, of course, Facebook says automatic, but that's just mostly because they want this process to be very quick for people, because if it takes too long, then a bunch of businesses will never place their ads. But automatic placements means that it's going to check that piece of content in like nearly every location. So if you give it like a 1-by-1 post that has a caption that is very relevant to the ad, and then you post it on people's story, then it's not really going to make a lot of sense when they see this 1-by-1 square image on a 9-by-16 story, especially if the caption is necessary for explaining the ad and it's only going to show about the first sentence of that caption on the story ad. So never click automatic placements, always do manual placements and only have the ad run where you actually designed it for. The third tip is a rule that I've made for being able to pull an ad early if I really don't think it's going to do well. Now, of course, there's always a little bit of concern with pulling an ad too early because you don't want to have this awesome ad and just the first couple thousand people it shows to, for whatever reason, it just didn't work. I mean, it could certainly happen, but for the most part, after the ad is shown to about 1,000 people, you can usually determine if it's going to work kind of or just not at all. So I like to find out if it's just going to work not at all. I like to pull the plug actually pretty early on that. And the way that I go about this is that you want to see at least 10 link clicks from the first 1,000 people that see your ad. So a 1% click-through ratio. This is really quite a below average number, a 1% click-through ratio on the ad. I mean, it's about average, just a little bit below. But if you are below 1% from that first 1,000, I mean, if it's 9, you can keep running a little bit. But if you have less than 10 clicks from the first 1,000 people it shows to, then that's a way that I like to just pull the ad early, and then you can always turn it back on later, but I'm at least going to try some new audiences before I move on, because if you can't get your initial click-through ratio to be at least 1%, it's going to be very hard for the rest of this ad to play out. The fourth tip is that you want to make sure to not start ads towards the end of the day. And by end of the day, I mean like anywhere past like 6 p.m. probably. So the reason why is because when you run Facebook ads, you set a daily budget. And if you start the ads at the end of the day, it is going to try to spend that entire budget within the remaining hours of the day. When it knows it has the entire day to spend the budget, Facebook is a little bit more patient in making sure that it only shows your ad to people that it thinks are very likely to convert. Now, when you give it a smaller window and it's really trying to eat up all that budget because they want to collect that money from you, it's really going to start showing it to people that it probably wouldn't normally show it to had you started the ad earlier on in the day. Now, this does not actually apply to promoting posts. So when you go on Instagram and you click promote post, that will actually, when you set a 1-day window, it will run for 24 hours from that time, or 2 days, it will be 48 hours. But when you're running it in Facebook Ads Manager, it will go off of the end of that day and it'll try to aggressively spend it if you start the ads too late in the day. So you might want to start them before noon in a day is probably what I would say. The fifth tip is that when you are trying to run ads to find people who are brand new customers and have never heard of your business before, you're going to want to make sure you exclude people who are already part of your existing clientele. So for instance, if you are running a new lead generation campaign to try to get a bunch of more emails out there, you might want to take your current email list and then import them as an audience into Facebook and then exclude them from your ads so that you're not spending money to show to people that you've already acquired as a lead. So for instance, if I wanted to make sure that I was running an Instagram campaign where I'm trying to get a bunch of new followers. You can exclude people from the ads that already follow you, but you can exclude people from your ads that have visited your profile. So right now I am running an ad actually where I have this custom audience in here that if you're watching with me on YouTube, you can see. You basically just go create custom audience, and then I chose people who visited my Instagram page within the last 365 days. And then I also have people who have been on my email list that I've added in here too. And you can exclude people from your ads that are already part of your following, or at least who have visited your profile or are already on your email list, so that your ads don't show to those people. So if you're really trying to test out a new offer to a completely cold audience, then you can save some money by excluding the people who are already part of your warm audience. The sixth tip is that you want to run ads in quarter 1 of the year. So most companies run a big marketing campaign in quarter 4, and there's just so much going on with advertising for holiday sales that it jacks up the ad costs. And because of that, a lot of companies don't also have a quarter 1 marketing plan. So the Facebook ad landscape is a lot more dry in the first couple months of the year as it is compared to the end of the year. So since it's an auction system and everyone's just competing for people's attention, and the more advertisers there are, the higher the ad costs get, it's good to compete at times that are less competitive so that you can save on the ad costs. So especially if you're brand new to running ads and you're not running some kind of holiday sales promotion, running ads in quarter 1 could be a great way to do it. The seventh tip is that rather than trying to run a Facebook ad campaign where your objective is to get sales directly from the ad, and by the way, every time I've said Facebook ad, I'm talking about Instagram as well, just to clarify, but anytime you are running an ad campaign where you're trying to get a sale directly from the ad, it's going to cost a lot more money to test. The reason why is when you are trying to make a sale directly from an ad, the average buyer is going to need to see it at least 7 to 10 times before they make a buying decision. So that means that you need to spend for the ad to show it to people at least that many times before you can decide if it's working or not. So a lot of businesses for their first ad campaign will go in there and they'll try to be like, on sale, 20% off. And if you've got an amazing product and your targeting is dialed in, it definitely could give you a possibility to work. But for a lot of businesses, they're not really in the position for them to just be able to say something's on sale and they just start pulling in sales right away. Otherwise, I think a lot more businesses would be very successful online. So for that reason, what I'd recommend is that until you're more seasoned with Facebook ads, that some of the first campaigns you run are lead generation campaigns. So rather than trying to get them to buy something from your ads, your goal is to get them to opt into an email opt-in, or to give you their phone number, or maybe follow you on Instagram, something of the sort that is a smaller ask for people, because getting them to pull out their credit card requires you to be a much better marketer and have a much better understanding of the technicals of Facebook ads than it does to just get an email opt-in. Examples of this email opt-in could be something like a free resource or even like a coupon code for your products. Another example is one that I cover in my new free course called How to Build and Monetize a Following in 90 Days or Less. This is the course that I am giving away for free for a limited time, so if you'd like to get that, go ahead and check it out in the description. It will tell you exactly what I recommend to do for creating your first Facebook or Instagram lead generation campaign and really spell out the steps for you. I would cover it in this video, but this has been long enough, and those are the 7 tips for you. So go grab that course while it's still free. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you next episode.